day, teacher. Today, we will be discussing our topic entitled Deep Ed Kindergarten Curriculum Themes and Lessons. But before that, let me first read this saying. The first years of life are important because what happens in early childhood can matter in a lifetime. And that is according to Harvard 2009. The Department of Education, or Deep Ed, having been a strong advocate of early childhood education, has implemented various programs for preschoolers for decades now. The department further strengthens these through the inclusion of kindergarten in the K-12 basic education curriculum in the country. Deep Ed believes kindergarten is a transition stage between informal literacy and formal literacy, or grades 1 to 12. So during this period, or during this stage, the greatest growth and development takes place, wherein the brains develop most rapidly and almost at its fullest. So during this period, the children's maka-encounter na siya sang growth and development sang iya nga kaugalingon. Next is walking, talking, and self-esteem, a vision of the world and moral foundation are established. Of course, they are walking, also talking to their friends, also to their teachers, and they are also starting to build self-confidence and self-esteem. Next, they should be immersed with activities, games, and plays to naturally acquire the skills competencies appropriate for their holistic development as emergent literates and be ready for formal schools. So, dapat sa sina nga stage, maka-engage man sila sang mga activities, mga various games which are appropriate for them para maka-acquire sila sa mga skills, mga competencies which are also appropriate para sa ilang development. And according to National Association for the Education of Young Children, on NAEYC, kindergarten is a critical year where children's experiences nurture positive approaches to learning and prepare children for the more rigorous academic expectation of the primary grades. Of course, kay syempre, why nga critical year? Because sa sina nga time, ang children maka-experience gid na sila sa mga nurture positive approaches to learning. Kaya gina-prepare na sila for more rigorous academic expectation. So, therefore, as a teacher of kindergarten, you should guide the learners using an engaging and creative curriculum that is developmentally appropriate. So we as a future educator, we have the responsibility to guide learners, preschoolers using an engage, and dapat engage na sila into sa mga creative curriculum which are very appropriate para sa ila. So, and according to Republic Act 10157, also known as the Kindergarten Education Act, which was signed into law by Pangulong Benigno Aquino III on January 20. So makes this kindergarten the first stage of compulsory and mandatory formal education. So for public schools, the kindergarten education program will be free of tuition and other school fees. With the Kindergarten Education Act, the kindergarten education program will be comprised of 1 year of the preschool education for children aged 5 and above. The Act also pushes for the conceptualization and development of a regular training program for kindergarten teachers to ensure that teaching styles, methodologies, and approaches are usually in line with modern trends and issues in education. So, as what you've noticed ang aton nga mga manghod or hinablos, kung 5 years old na gani, di na pwede nga ibalik sa daycare. Dapat, ma-proceed na sila dayon sa preschool. Kay amo na siya ang mandatory sa Republic Act 10157. And also, ang mga teachers, sa mga kindergarten teachers, dapat undergone na sila sa mga regular training program para ma-ensure man nga ang ilang mga teaching styles, mga methodologies, and approaches in line man what are the trends, the modern trends and issues sa education. So, moving on to the curricular themes. The outer circle of the KFC corresponds to the interrelatedness of the learning domains, which dictates the way to approach implementation. The daily activity prescribed in the Kindergarten Curriculum Guide, or the KCG, or the Teacher's Guide, is designed as learner-centered, inclusive, and developmentally appropriate to employ an integrative and interactive approach in developing the competencies focusing on the themes. So, that will be shown in figure 2 later on. So, the child and brain development principles were the basis of the selection of content, concept, and skills, as well as the learning activities. So, developmentally appropriate practices consider a developmental task that 5 years old in general could tackle at a specific time and on a specific sequence. Thus, these curricular themes adhere to Wiener's bioecological themes that defines layers of environment, which each having an effect on a child's holistic development. So, ang inisyang curricular themes is adhere ni siya sang layers of environment ni Brunfin-Brenners. So, this is it, the curricular themes. The myself, my family, my school, my community, and more things around me. So, on the next slides, we have the definition of this 5 curricular themes. So, the first one is myself. Ang aton nga kaugalingon. So, this is the concept and ideas that help the learners understand himself or herself better so that he or she will develop as an individual. So, diba, in order for sa isa ka taho nga maka-develop as an individual, dapat nag-start gid sa iya kaugalingon. Dapat hibaluon niya who am I? Kung sino gid ko? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? So, pero, iniya kay bata pa, dapat ang teacher mag-help, buligan ang isa ka bata to let them explore, to make them discover more about themselves. Dapat kita hindi lang ta teacher in the future, we should also be their mother as we will be considered na as their second parents as school in the future. So, dapat, we have also the responsibility to teach kung paano nila i-discover man ang ila kaugalingon sa mga children. Next, the second one is my family. So, of course, basta family na gani ang ginahambalan, upod na dira ang mama, papa, kag mga utod. So, these are the concepts, ideas, and practices that guide a child to be responsible and proud of himself and his family. Si concept, mga ideas, and practices nga mag-guide sa isa ka children, sa isa ka bata, para maging responsibly and maging proud man sa iya kaugalingon. Of course, kay ara ang iyang mga family sa iya nga palibot. So, this family, may dako nga responsibilidad sa isa ka bata to guide of what is right, of what is wrong, kung ano ang dapat himuon, kag hindi dapat himuon. So, that's it. Next is my school. So, these are the concept, ideas, practices, and situation that help the child understand how to be an individual and socialize with other learners and teachers and other school personnel. So, my school, so sa school, damo na ma-encounter ang isa ka children, ang isa ka bata, dapat na damo na ma-encounter. Ma-encounter na diya ang mga classmates, ang teachers, as well as my parents, ma-encounter yung manadera. And, through sini, sa mga concepts, ideas, practices, and situations nga ma-encounter sa isa ka bata sa schools, amo ni siyang magbulig sa isa ka bata para maintindihan kung paano mag-isahanon, kung paano makipag-socialize with other learners, as sa teachers, kag sa iban pa nga mga school personnel. And by that, if nakasocialize na siya, so, mag-start na mag-create sang ginatawag nga, makabuild na siya sang self-confidence. Di na siya maghuya-huya, mag-approach. And, of course, maka-create na siya sang friendship together sang iya nga mga classmates. Next is my community. So these are the concept, ideas, choices, situations, and responsibilities that the learner should acquire and understand so that he or she will become a functional and responsive member of the common understanding. So community, this is a place, as a bata, dapat maging aware siya kung diin siya na community na belong, para ma-aware man siya. And ang teacher, yes, may responsibilidad man na siya to tell, to teach, kung diin ang bata nga community na belong. So this concept, ideas, choices, and situations, and responsibility, dapat ni siya nga mabalaan kag maintindihan sa isa ka bata para magdako siyang maging functional and responsive member sa sina nga community. Moving on to the things around me, this is the last. So this all other concept, ideas, practices, situations, and responsibilities beyond themes 1 to 4, but which may be relevant to the community, culture, and interest of the learners. So things around me sa school, yes, amo ni siya imo makita, amo na siyang picture. Kung sa community naman, of course, damo ka dira makita. Ang school dira mo na makita, ang mga buildings, simbahan, of course, kung diin ka nga, community na belong. Also, the culture. Dapat itudlo man sing isa ka teacher ang culture kung diin nga culture na bilin ng isa na belong ang isa ka bata, of course, kay para maging aware man siya. So, let's move on to the kindergarten curriculum. So, kindergarten is a child's first year of formal education. During this year, they learn about letters and sounds. They improve their vocabulary. They will take their first steps towards reading, grow their vocabulary, and learn to write the alphabet letters. So, kindergarten. So, during this stage, during this time, they're na gina-introduce about kung paano ginatudluan on how to write letters, sounds, mga sounds ina, kag naga-start na dira improve sang ilang mga vocabulary. So there are variety of skills that provided base for the kindergarten curriculum. So these are the basic skills that are included in the most kindergarten curriculum plans. So we have here the curriculum plan, the curriculum for kindergarten. So the first one is language skills, next is mathematics concept, next is world around us, social skills, and motor skills. So the first thing that I am going to discuss is the language skills. So kindergarten syllabus should include phonics, reading, and writing. These are areas are essential for a child's development of critical reading and communication skills. Learning starts with an in-depth knowledge of each letter of the alphabet. Language skills, which are amugin ni siya ang basic para ang bata kabalo magbasa, kang kabalo mag-communicate sa iya isig kataho. So, dapat ang syllabus naga-include ni siya sang phonics. So, ano siya ginatawag ng phonics? Siya ginatawag. So, this is the method for teaching people how to read and write an alphabetic language. Next is reading, yung pagbabasa, at ang writing is ang pagsulat. So, amo ni siya ang mga areas which are very important, gid nga itudlo sa isa ka preschool teacher sa mga estudyante. Kay kung di ni ang teacher hindi magtudlo sini kag hindi kabalo ang isa ka bata, mag grade 1 ni siya, wala gid. Of course, ang isa ka bata hindi gid na kabalo. Kay wala na tudluan kung hindi pagtudluan sa isa ka preschool teacher. So ang language skills may included ni siya sang duwa. These are the reading and writing. So ang letter A is reading. So the reading objective in early years is to provide students with a thorough understanding of phonemes and phonic sounds that each letter makes, as well as differences in words and meanings. So, amo ni siya, ang objective sang reading sa early years, hindi kay para makabalo na gid ang bata magbasa. Siyempre, mga preschool pa na sila. So, ang purpose lang sini is para maintindihan ang mga phonemes, mga phonic sounds sa kada letters, as well as ang mga differences, meanings. Ano siya nga letter, sa letter A, sa letter B. So, student would then be able to start blending and segmenting by putting and separating letters to continue reading and writing. They will be participate in activities and will be develop sight reading and vocabulary by presenting. So, maka-help manigali develop sang reading sa bata ang role play, ang story time, nursery rhyme, and circle time. So, amo ni siya nga mga activities nga dapat i-introduce, i-present sa isa ka teacher sa mga bata para mabuligan sa isa ka teacher ang mga bata kung paano magbasa, kung paano maka-identify isa ka bata sang sound sa isa ka letters, kag yes, amo na siya nga mga activities. Next is writing. So, kindergarten students will learn to trace and write simple CVC consonant, vowel, consonant, words like hat, red, and dogs, and later will jump up to read and write simple, quick, short sentences. So, writing. So, dapat mag-start sa CVC or consonant, vowel, consonant. Hindi na sila pag-i-direct sa mga budlay nga mga words. Of course, kay mga preschool pagani, dapat mga basic lang na danay. Kay, along the way, mag-gets gid na nila. Basta, as a preschool teacher, dapat i-introduce na gid ni sa ila ang language skills, which are writing and reading. Kung paano pasulato ng isa ka bata, kag dapat i-guide mana naton sila. So, that's the end of my report. The 4 remaining topics will be discussed by Happe Rallos. Thank you.
So, good afternoon, everyone. So, the second curriculum for kindergarten is the math skills. So, kindergarten math skills will include the following skills. So, number and counting. Kindergarten will learn to recognize, write, order, and count up to 30 objects. Count backwards from 10 to 0. Since they are children, they should have the limit to count numbers. So they will also understand basic concepts like up, down, under, near, or the side, etc. Another skills is the shapes and graphs. So kindergarten will recognize the 5 simple geometric shapes and draw them. So the 5 simple geometric shapes are circle, square, triangle, rectangle, and oval. They will also create and interpret graphs. Another skills is comparing and measuring. So kindergarten will measure length, volume, and weight with non-standard objects. They will also compare measurements and use words like shorter, longer, smaller, bigger, less, and so on. So the third curriculum for kindergarten is the world around us. So one of the kindergarten's practice goals is not only to teach children in reading, writing, and math, but the kindergarten curriculum also focuses on science, concepts to explore the world around us. So kids will learn about a variety of topics that will help them understand things like plants, animals, matter, energy, and explore physical traits, properties, and the life of different beings. So in kindergarten science, children will learn about the following concrete topics. So first is the differences between living and non-living things. Second is the animals of various types and their characteristics. And lastly is energy resources. So the fourth curriculum for kindergarten is the social skills. So social skills are essential for the kindergarten curriculum. The early years are critical stages that provide the foundation stone for developing proper social behaviors to help students become a successful part of society and the future. So the kindergarten skills are taught to kids on this level. So they will understand the difference between right and wrong, as well as the fact that their actions have consequences. Inclusive education will also promote equality among race, sex, gender, etc. So when we say inclusive education, this means that all students being able to access and gain equal opportunities to education and learning. Next is the health, hygiene, and safety. And when playing with other kids, they will try to remember to share, take turns, and use nice words. The last curriculum for kindergarten is the motor skills. So motor skills are broken into two categories. So they are the gross motor skills and the fine motor skills. So what is gross motor skills? So these skills are the body movement related to the large muscles such as legs, arms, and trunk, generally broader and more energetic than fine motor movements. So these skills include walking, kicking, jumping, catching balls, climbing stairs, etc. So I know that you are very familiar on these things. So fine motor skills. So these include manual dexterity, often require coordinating movements of the hands and fingers with the eyes. This is called hand-eye or eye coordination. So the main components of fine motor skills include the pencil grip, hand and eye coordination, manipulate small objects for activities, and using both hands to the task, and using just thumbs and one finger to pick something up rather than a whole hand. So it is important to remember that educational standards differ between state countries, colleges that know the children learn at the same pace. As a future early childhood educator, we will be the one to help children excel in kindergarten by instilling self-confidence, which can lead them to a lifelong love of learning. That would be all, and thank you.